I was able recently to speak with a real expert on this subject, demographer Dr. Paul Moreland, the author of 4 important books on the subject of global demographics, the most recent with the title of No One Left: Why the World Needs More Children. Dr. Paul Moreland, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for asking me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Paul, I've been following your work and doing a lot of reading, and I think I understand the scale of this problem. But from your point of view, just how big an issue is this?
Well, perhaps if you'll allow me, I'll go back a little bit historically. So you go from a low population with a high fertility and a high death rate to a large population with a low fertility and a low death rate and long life expectancy. And that is basically where we thought we were in the 70s. Britain was the first country to go through that process. It then spread throughout Europe. And back in the 70s, the least developed countries in the world were just starting to enter that process. So then we thought it kind of settled at about 2. Now, 2 things are really upending that. I mean, first of all, there's a general progress through that of more and more countries. So that today, it was once the case in most countries that perhaps a quarter of children would die before they reached the age of 1. And now I think the worst performer, something like Sierra Leone, it might be 70 per 1,000. So pretty horrendous, but a fraction of what it would have been back. So lots of countries have now moved through that. That would imply that we're living longer and we're having fewer children just because the world's making material progress. And that would all have been predictable in the 70s. But 2 things have really sort of shaken that. The first is that the rising life expectancy and the falling fertility have happened much more quickly to countries that are still poor. Because you tend to put your focus on giving people the basics, and because the basics get you a very long way, we now have countries like, if you looked at the gap in life expectancy, say, between India and America, 20, 30, 40 years ago, it might have been 20 years, and now it's perhaps 5 years. So right. the catching up of still quite poor countries in terms of their life expectancy has been phenomenal, largely to do with their getting their infant mortality rates down. But then the other thing, which has been a great surprise, is that as countries get more educated and wealthy and urban, their fertility rate falls.